Thank you, Niels. Alexander, up till now I didn't see questions coming, or am I mistaken? Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't see this question coming. So, Niels, I think you can read together with me the questions. Is a better home building performance check model based on national local data, and how accurate is it to compare to a private energy audit? How flexible is it to adapt in other countries? I think that's a good question, Niels, and I think you can for sure answer that one.
And please stop me when I use too much time on it, but this is live for me. The first one, well, we actually take data from the Danish building registry called BBR in Denmark, and it's a public registration where we can take out a lot of very interesting data. And this is actually local data on the house that we use when we do it. We also use more public data on what's the average energy saving on neutral products, not only our products, though they are on a very high level when we talk about energy efficiency. And how accurate is it compared to a private energy audit? Well, the real energy audit, you're using a lot of time. What we do is an energy check and work with our energy waste calculation and savings later on. We can actually provide data for how much is the incentive from the energy companies in Denmark when you make this refurbishment. It is relatively flexible, and it needs to be adapted to each country and then in Europe, because the incentive model in each European country is very different. You can get up to 30,000 euros in Germany, and you have a lot of incentive in Sweden. You actually don't have that in Denmark, but we need to adapt it to each country since energy efficiency audit from a European perspective is a very differentiated process. For each country has their own approaches, and we could dream about that it was more consistent throughout Europe.
Okay, that's very clear, and thank you. And I think we would be very interested in seeing more of this cross-check of actually doing what is the designed energy savings and what is the real energy savings afterwards. So very interesting to see. The second question is also very relevant, and I think from BPIE we had some discussions with you on this, is how can you avoid that it's just the low-hanging fruit and that you go to a deeper energy renovation? So Niels, the floor is yours.
Thanks. I would like to answer very quickly saying that our average project size is about 70,000 euros, making it a deep renovation project. But in the dialogue, we are focusing on the low-hanging fruit. But typically, when we open the case of performing energy refurbishment or offering energy refurbishment, a lot of questions is opened with a house owner, and very often the project will develop into a very large relatively large projects. So, well, we start with the low-hanging fruit, and then we move on to a more core and basic approach to this, because we don't want to come back too fast again to the house, because we did not take all the fruits with the first batch.
Oh, okay, that is clear. And well, while you are talking, there are coming more questions. So the faster you give your answers, the less questions.
Yeah.
So then, good question. Maybe you can take the next and also the second last question on the installers, where they come from and which products that they use. Are they only using products from the companies or not?
We primarily use products from our owners because, first of all, it's world-leading products, and secondly, they are very respected as has this deep confidence adapted to or as a part of these products. But where do we get the installers from? This is actually basically good Danish or Swedish or wherever it is installers. They need to have a good reputation, a good economy, meaning that they're able to handle their projects, and then they need to have this team of providing holistic solutions, and this is very important for us. So some of our best installers, one of them is 3 people, another is 150 people, and one is 20 people, and they are more or less equal as strong installers in our project.
Okay. Yeah, you can keep on going, Niels. There is then the
Yes.
question, does BetterHome help homeowners to get subsidies or funding for financing renovation?
No. Yes, they do. But the average energy efficiency subsidiary is very, very low in Denmark. So it is between, it's about 10,000 euros as top. Sometimes you can have a little bit higher. And then we have some subsidiary compare or where the installers we get something for bringing work to the installers, but it's only a few percent of the total project size of about the 70,000 euros.
Okay, thank you. Then the next question you then already covered. During evaluation of the project, how do you figure out if an eventual energy consumption gap between calculation and realization is due to incorrect workmanship or occupants' behavior? That's related to your answer in the beginning, but maybe something to add on that.
Well, to date, we have not had any complaints of the technical quality of the project. But we do know that sometimes the behavior are changing a lot from the end user or the homeowner. And we're meaning that they might increase the temperature or something like that. So we actually have a challenge in the coming years that we do challenge these projects a little bit more and go back and measure and discuss with the homeowner how they actually can utilize their new home better than what they do. And this might be the next step into the smart homes, where we on the distance with digital tools can assist on nudging the customer in using his or her project better than they do today.
Okay, thank you. Questions keep on coming, so we'll answer more 2 or 3 questions, and then we can take the remaining questions also for the Q&A at the end of the session. But can you explain a little bit more about the type of contracts you offer to customers?
The type of contract, where is that question, sorry?
So, about the type of contracts that the customers are offered.
The contracts the customers are offered are 100% a contract from the installer. And that means that the transaction in legal terms are between the installer and the end user or the homeowner. And what we provide is that this offer and this transaction are as decent as possible and with well, you could say with a so substantial good solution as possible. Well, if the day where we realize that there is a problem, we will of course be there to assist the homeowner to get a safe solution. But until today, we have not had any complaints that has brought this, you could say, indirect support in action. We have very good installers, and we are able to train them to deliver very strong solutions. But it is a transaction solely between the homeowner and the installer.
Okay, thank you. And then 2 more questions. And that's maybe, I don't know if you can answer, or if it's rather for the industrial partners, but if we, and I don't know who is we, would like to start initiative BetterHome in our country, what are the obligations and benefits for the country? Are you checking already for other countries in Sweden and Denmark, or is it for the industry partners to answer?
Well, it might be better, but well, we are presently working in the Scandinavians, and well, we do gather a lot of information of what needs to be there and how should we prepare ourselves to when we go to the next new country in the future. But I cannot say when. And the opportunity for the country is basically that they get implementation of the energy efficiency in the building, the area where we openly are moving far too slowly compared to all the other areas. We have green energy, but we still need green energy efficiency in the homes.
Okay, thank you. And then a last question, and then the remaining questions I keep to the end of the session. It's a longer one. For renewable energy, what's the link between BetterHome process and the certification of installers imposed by the Renewable Energy Directive, Article 14? I maybe can also give some more information about it, so, or broaden the question. Is there in Denmark any certification scheme for building professionals on renewable energy or on insulation and so on? And do you put, for example, obligations to your installers to obtain these certifications?
Well, we don't. Well, we have different certifying educations, bringing, for example, a usual installer into a so-called energy installer. Well, it's not a certification; it is an education. And well, we do prefer installers that have had a kind of second education or in energy installmentship or whatever we call it. But what is basically here is that we need to empower the dialogue between the installer and the homeowner. We have a lot of good standardized solutions that our owners produce and a lot of other companies, and we just need to get these solutions brought into our homes and based on a good and confident dialogue between the installer and the homeowner. We have so much strong professionalism in our installers that our theory is that a really large part of the installers are able to follow this client journey and bring the energy efficiency into all our houses.
Okay, thank you, Niels. It was quite a bunch of questions you got there, but you did very well. Thank you once more for the clear information, the presentation. Alexander, may I ask that the questions which were not answered, that you take them to the Q&A at the end of this webinar. Thank you. So it is now my pleasure to invite Alex Chambry, who is the leading lady of the Danfoss EU Public Affairs Office since 2015, but she's not only leading the EU Public Affairs, she's also Vice President of EuroAce and chairing the policy group of EuAce. So I think, Alex, you're combining actually 3 jobs in 1 job, and therefore I'm very happy that you are here with us to give a presentation, and I give the floor to you. Thank you.